What's up YouTube, it's time for another guide, and this time it's the MAP Corrode. This map is honestly one of my favorites already. I think it's a perfectly executed map when like design wise, and yeah, I think they just nailed this one. It's a bit scary though with all the Odin stuff, but I think with Viper you can do so many like ratty stuff, and if you've seen my videos, I like some ratty stuff. So yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start with how to solo smoke, and the only wall I would really recommend to you is this one. This one will smoke off this, and this is the most important place to smoke off in my opinion. And after that, when you get into elbow, you will have the whole site, and it will also smoke off CT here. The only thing with this wall though is, if you get close here, they can still play like here. They have a lot of space, so it might be hard. They can like play from here and flash and stuff. So what I would recommend to do if you're using this wall is to throw your orb. And you can see I placed my HUD in the top right corner of that gray square there, and I just left click. This one will land perfectly on the edge on this box here, and it will create like a little one-way and a smoke for the other side. So when you have these two smokes, you can get into this clear trips and stuff, and then you can choose whether you want to take down this smoke or this smoke. And you take this down the wall, you can fight this area, take space, go in on site. Or if it's too hard, they might have stacked, or they might have put so many trips here. You can just rotate mid, maybe have your lurk here, and you can pivot out and rotate to B. If you choose the other side, however, you just clear all this, and then you take up your wall when you're about here, and then you have the whole site here, and you also have a smoke CT. So it's pretty good setup. You don't always need this smoke though. Because sometimes it might be just pretty easy to take this space. So the orb, it might be useful in like both plant. So if you get sight and you still have your orb left, you can stand here and just aim right there, and you will get a one-way here. This one-way is good for holding the site if you want to play on it, but it's also very strong if you get the plant down here. So you see I can plant this, and also make sure to look left so it goes right there. And with this, I can use my one-way and see if they're on the bomb, and they can really see me. But one thing you also can do is you can use this orb as a smoke on the bomb and play lineups. So you can just step back here and line up your square here. See this like HUD that comes up over the molly? You line that up with this brick that sticks out like that, and then you just shoot, and it will land perfectly. Oh wait. On the bomb here, and then after the mold disappears, you can just play your one way. So it's very strong actually to plant there. This setup is great and all, but if you already used your wall on B and then you had to rotate there for some reason, but have been too hard or your teammate died, this smoke can be very good. All you want to do is just place your HUD line like that towards this like little thing on the leg there, up on the crane, like that. Just place it like that, and then left click. This one will land perfectly here and block off this entire, like, yeah, so they can't see you. They can still jump peek, of course, over there, but they can't like fight you at this. So that's, I think this could be a good option if you don't have your wall, and to just throw, and then you can take the space here. When it comes to post-plant lineups on this map, I think it can be pretty good, because you're pretty close to the site, and when you only have one molly, you have to be pretty close so you can still fight the bomb like after your first molly has been shot on. So I think it would be pretty good. I don't really know where the default spot is gonna be, but probably, or the default plant, probably here or here is the like most safe. Might also be here, but I have a molly for this at least. And if you plant it here and you're playing like from here, you can just bounce it. Like, it's not that hard. Maybe like run at the same time to get it a bit further. But if you plant it here or like there, you just stand here. You see this like little thing, and you just go a bit down on this line like that, and it will like bounce off the window and land like that, and it will cover this and this. Okay, so B side is actually a bit harder than A side, because this time you have to use both the orb and the wall, because otherwise it's pretty hard to enter site. So we're gonna start with the orb. You just want to stand against this blue thing. You see this yellow thing in the bucket here? Just want to go a bit up like this and throw it. It's easy to line up, it's hard to fail. I'll just land there and work as a normal smoke, like this. Now comes the like a bit weirder part about this attacking setup, because you need a wall here, because you don't want to be dealing with this angle if you're gonna clear sight like this. So the wall you would think you were gonna do is just like this. But this wall actually goes above this house here, and this creates an angle for the enemies to play around. And especially with this orb, they can just jump out for free without being spotted, and then just peek over your wall. So instead, I would recommend putting this wall. So you see this darker patch on this cable in this corner? You want to keep your crosshair at that level, but you want to aim on the minimap as the same as we did before. Just over this like house, like that. And with this, your wall will go below this roof and create something like this. This means that the enemies won't be able to stand here like as safe as they were before, and they won't get any cheeky angles like over the wall. The only problem with this though is that it creates a pocket for the enemies playing here. But I mean, if you're gonna enter site, you're gonna clear like close corners and stuff, and when you're about here, cleared CT and stuff, you can take your wall down to save toxin for the orb, and then just clear this. However, if you feel like this is a bit risky, I would recommend using this molly. You stand against this, you can throw your wall, then your orb, and then this molly if you want to be a bit safer. You just see this line here on the pot. You just want to go a bit out, so you're like in between those, but still at the level of the top one. And then you can just shoot it, and it will bounce, and it will land like perfectly in the middle here, clearing both corners so they can't be standing there. Just to be like a bit safer or extra sure that no one is playing on site. When it comes to post-plan mollies, however, on this site, you can use this one that I just showed for these two. But I also have one for here, because I think this will be the default spot, because you're pretty safe from back here, and you can't get wallbang because it's from the side if you're gonna go wallbang here, and you're also safe from CT. So I think this one will be the default plant. So if you want to molly that, you just go to the same spot as you were before, and this time you see this yellow thing. You want to aim right here in this little corner there, and it will bounce off the roof and land perfectly down here, covering all of this. Post plant lineups won't be as useful if you're playing solo smoke, because you need your orb up here, but in some situations they might be good to know. So when it comes to playing double smoker on this map, I think Viper is really strong. So we're gonna start with attack and explaining all the lurk walls I would do. So the first one here, you just want to stand like back here, and you see how I do this. So if I look at the minimap, I want this to leave a gap here on this side and on this side. So a bit more, maybe a bit further back, and do something like this. As you'll see with this wall, it will cover, make sure for it to cover elbow as well. What this wall does is, if you take it up, you can choose a side to sneak up on. So with this you can either lurk, like lurk elbow, or you can lurk this, depending on what the enemies do to like stop you from lurking. So I think this wall can be very strong, and also when you like get to here, you will have it smoked off, so you can clear and get into this corner, get pretty deep without them seeing you. So I think this one is pretty strong if you wanna like focus towards A with the lurks. You can also do the lineup I showed before here if you want it to be extra safe. There is also a wall mid, and that one is like this. Oh wait, actually, you wanna stand here and then aim on this right here. This one will cover, first of all, cover this, and then it will cover like all the way back there if someone is standing with it up. The only thing it doesn't cover is this, so they can still hold you here. You will have to jiggle it out or use some util. But the reason it won't cover this is because you want to be able to sneak in here and come late when your team is fighting B or pushing B. So this is for like catching rotates and maybe coming after them when they have gotten into here, or if they're like flooding from CT everyone. So yeah, this is a good lurk wall from mid, but I will probably recommend the first one or this one I'm gonna show now. So this one, pretty simple, kind of like a bind wall or a split wall on B side. Pretty easy, you just throw it and then you can sneak in. If you go close to it, you won't be able to be spotted from heaven. You can go into CT, and it will also block off here, so you will be safe to clear all these corners. And yeah, and then you can move into CT, maybe get this spot and call your teammates to rotate and just hold on to heaven. Pretty OP spot, if you ask me. So yeah, that is a good wall. So when it comes to ults, I think A side is probably the best one. You just want to stand in this corner, look here, and then you shoot. This will create a pathway all the way around and be very strong, since you can play here, like here, and then have an Odin and spam bomb. You can also step back, see this window, shoot a molly inside of the window, and this one will cover the whole thing. So that's pretty strong. If you're playing on this side, you can plant here. Of course, spam the same as you did here, but you step back here. You see this orange part, like the rusted part of the window. You just want to go like above it and a bit to the left, like that, and this one will hit all of this. So that's a pretty good ult. On B, I have one that I think is pretty useful. Of course, you can do it like normal, so you just ult towards a single point, so you have like CT, main, or link. But this is more of a like a Ratult, or like, so you get a position to play in that can be pretty strong. So what you want to do is, when you have your setup like this, you just go in, you clear site and clear here, and then you want to stand like a bit back of the mid, or you see the middle of this box, you want to stand like a bit in between, like this part and this part, like that, and then just build like that. Won't have to be that perfect or anything, just make it so it creates a little pocket here. You can play up here, because this is pretty strong. You can peek from here, you can peek from here, you can also just hide, and what it looks like from here is like you see the edge here, so people won't think that the guy is gonna stand there. So they will probably just like jump in like this, or walk down here, or something like that. Just be aware though, because they can walk in here, but it's more unlikely that they will do it than just walk in from the other side. But when you're here, when you ult it, you can plant like inside of here. If you plant here, you wanna spam. If you place yourself in the middle, you can spam there. If you plant in the middle, you can spam there. If you plant on the side, on the other side, you can spam there. So you have like these 3 spam points, and since they're 1 HP, you will like kill them very easy. And also, you have a molly with this. You see this this wooden plank here. You just go a bit above it like that, and this one will bounce perfectly and land right here. So this one is pretty toxic actually. You can just stand here, shoot your molly, and when your molly disappears, you can just start spamming and get the kills you need. Solo smoking on this map as VIPER is pretty tricky, because the sides are very far apart. So if you're gonna smoke both chokes, you have to have lineups. And the lineups is actually quite hard to find, because you have all these like tall buildings, and with this orb that doesn't go that far, you have to run and jump through. It's no other choice. So the first thing I would do here is just place this wall. This wall will cover B main and mid, and it will also create a pocket here that you can play in. If you've used this round wall a couple of rounds, you can just surprise your enemies by playing in this corner, like this. And now comes the orb. You have to do this orb after the barriers goes down, because otherwise it will bounce off an invisible barrier up here. But what I would do is I place my crosshair on this part of the leaf here. Then I'm gonna run all the way until my toxin bar hits this wall here, and then I'm jump throwing. Okay, so run and then jump throw. It will go all the way to A main, land perfectly there, and create the best smoke I think you can do from that position. So it will help. The enemy or the teammates who plays on A. After that, you can just play around this. You can mold if they come here. Otherwise, you start making your way towards mid, taking space, maybe catch a lurker or something. And if there's no one here, you can just rotate very fast to A. So that's a good way, because if you rotate through spawn, I think someone said it took like 18 seconds or something, and that's way too long. The enemy team can already have like time for planting and stuff. So yeah, that is the B setup. The A setup is like pretty much the same, but you play on A. So you throw your orb here, and then when the barriers goes down, you wanna instantly take space towards here. Maybe ask a teammate for util or something, but you don't have to like push too deep. You can just gather info, and if your teammates calls it that it's B, you just wall like this. This wall will help you rotating, as you see. It will cut off mid, so you can rotate pretty free, and it will also cover B main for your teammates. The only like bad part about this is that you have to make your way to here. You can't throw this wall otherwise. I mean, you can throw a wall from here that covers, but this one will give the enemy so much space here and just walk into a site. So I believe that making your way to here is worth it, and it won't be that dangerous, I think, if you just go with a teammate or be very careful of when you're peeking. Then you just place this wall. If you play double control on this map, it plays out a bit different, because you can use your orb much more free to play around on site. But you can still do this wall if you want. You also can do this lineup. You just line up like this, and you see this part, just go out to the left of it. This one will land right here as a one-way, and yeah, pretty good like the ascent one-way, but at the same time, like, the enemy barrier are here, they can just like run here very fast, so the one-way won't get any value. But if they like take a more explorer approach, then it might be good. It won't be as strong though as an Omen smoke, because you can refresh it when the smoke goes down, because your toxin like runs out. But I would still recommend this wall though. You can just put it like this, pretty good. You can fight mid with it, and then you can place your orb either here, because this one will help with retaking a lot, and you can also like play in it. Maybe, I don't know about going around, but you can if you want. Maybe come out here, place it a bit further, like, or a bit like closer here. The second orb you can do is just throw it right here, like somewhere around here. And what this will do, it will let you play around it, and it will also make it awkward for enemies to plant in here, because they will take damage or be decayed. So this one will is pretty good, and it will also help when defusing the bomb, because the bomb will go down somewhere here. Might plant here then, but then it's a bit safer for us to plant if they play main, or defuse if they play main. So that's pretty good. And for A, there isn't like a lot of things I would do differently. You can throw this orb, you can place a wall like this, like the ascent wall or the split wall, when you have to like cross this wall like 5 times or something, I don't know. Pretty good. Another thing you can do is, if you stand here and aim like right there and jump throw, or jump right click, you can create this one way, and from here it is pretty good, if as you see, pretty good at holding. You can also do a one way here. If you stand against this box, you see this corner here, you just want to aim a bit left of it, so it bounces like that. And this one will create a one way from even further back if you feel like it's too hard to hold from elbow. And you can also use like the same one way as you did I showed you before with the thing here. If you plant there, it's pretty good of holding. You can mold and stuff here. You can also do one ways towards mid, but I think it's a bit harder, because then you have to like go into this and jump throw and stuff. So I don't think this is worth it in the long run. I think you're better off just placing your orb somewhere here and using your wall from it.